Welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
I love these things. This time, we're going to be looking at the power of belief and its impact on success.
Okay.
You guys sent in a really interesting mix this time.
Yeah.
We've got excerpts from a self-help book called the QPH Method,
Okay.
and then we've got some really powerful quotes from some people who are like seriously crushing it in their fields.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be kind of going on a mission to extract the core principles of belief formation.
Okay.
We're going to look at how those beliefs shape the reality that we experience.
Yeah.
And we're even going to see if we could tweak those beliefs a little bit
Uh-huh.
for greater success.
I'm ready.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
What really struck me was how many of these high achievers,
Yeah.
people like Bruce Lee and Oprah,
Yeah.
point to this like rock solid belief in themselves as like the key to their accomplishments.
Yeah.
It's like it's more than just talent, it's this
Mhm.
unwavering conviction.
It makes you wonder, like, have they tapped into some kind of secret sauce?
Right.
Like, did they figure out how to align their inner world with their outer goals?
Yeah.
And that's actually where this book, the QPH Method, comes in.
Okay.
So this author argues that most of us
Uh-huh.
are stuck in this loop of reacting to the world around us
Right.
without realizing that our internal beliefs are actually shaping that reality.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like we're so focused on bending the spoon, we don't realize
That there is no spoon.
there is no spoon.
But hold on a sec. If our beliefs are so ingrained,
Yeah.
so subconscious,
Right.
how do we even, like, start to change them?
Well, the book introduces this concept of the human blind spot.
Okay.
It's the idea that we're often like clueless about the beliefs that are driving our actions and emotions.
Okay.
It's kind of like those optical illusions where you
Uh-huh.
can't see the hidden image until someone points it out to you.
So we're walking around with these invisible forces shaping our lives and we don't even know it.
Exactly.
It's kind of creepy, actually, when you think about it.
It is.
No wonder we can get stuck in the same patterns over and over again.
Exactly. And, the book argues that a lot of these beliefs are shaped way back in childhood.
Okay.
Think of it like this. A kid touches a hot stove and gets burned.
Yeah.
They quickly learn to associate stoves with pain
Right.
and avoid them in the future.
Yeah.
Similar mental associations form around all sorts of experiences,
Uh-huh.
and those end up influencing our behaviors for years to come.
Okay, so are you saying that our childhood experiences are basically like programming our brains for success or failure? I mean, did that mean we're just stuck with whatever beliefs we picked up as kids?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, recognizing those early influences is the first step.
Okay.
And here's where the QPH method gets really interesting.
Okay.
It connects this idea of subconscious beliefs with the law of attraction.
Okay, so the law of attraction, that's the idea that like attracts. You focus on abundance and you attract abundance.
Mm-hmm.
But, let's be real. This can sound a little woo-woo to some people.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And the book actually tackles that skepticism head on.
Okay.
It argues that most people misunderstand the law of attraction.
Okay.
It's not just about positive thinking or like wishing for something to happen.
Right.
The author explains it as a principle of physics, where we focus, our energy expands.
So it's less about magic and more about aligning our deepest beliefs with our desires.
Exactly.
But then how do you explain those times when people really believe in something, but it still doesn't work out?
That's where the real work comes in.
Okay.
The book dives into why simple positive thinking often falls short.
Okay.
It criticizes common self-help techniques,
Mm-hmm.
like affirmations and visualizations,
Yeah.
because they only address the surface level, not the underlying subconscious beliefs.
It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a house with a crumbling foundation. It might look good for a while,
Right.
but it's not going to last.
Exactly.
So how do we actually get down to those foundational beliefs and reshape them?
Well, the QPH method proposes a three-pronged approach.
Okay.
Questions,
Yeah.
polarity, and habits.
All right, so let's start with questions.
Okay, so it starts with asking ourselves powerful questions
Okay.
that challenge our existing beliefs.
It's like those mind-bending questions that make you see the world in a whole new way, right?
Exactly.
Like, what if everything I thought I knew about success was wrong? It forces us to question our assumptions.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it.
The second element is polarity.
Okay.
It builds on the principle that we can only focus on one side of a polarity at a time,
Uh-huh.
either what we want
Sure.
or what we lack.
Okay.
The QPH method pushes us to shift our focus from lack to abundance.
Okay, so instead of dwelling on what we don't have, we should direct our energy towards what we do want to create.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't that sometimes feel like ignoring reality?
Mm.
Like if I'm struggling financially,
Yeah.
shouldn't I acknowledge that struggle?
It's not about ignoring reality.
Okay.
It's about choosing where you focus your energy.
Okay.
The book argues that dwelling on the negative
Mm-hmm.
only reinforces those feelings of lack.
Okay.
Shifting your focus to the possibility of abundance
Yeah.
can create a different energetic state,
Uh-huh.
which can then influence your actions
Oh,
and ultimately your reality.
okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So we've got the questions, we've got the polarity shift.
Mm-hmm.
Now what about habits?
Okay, so habits are the building blocks of our belief systems.
Okay.
They're the small, consistent actions that over time create lasting change.
Okay.
Think of it like the compound effect. Small efforts repeated consistently lead to huge results.
So it's like instead of trying to overhaul our entire belief system overnight,
Right.
we can start with small, manageable changes to our daily action.
Exactly.
And those small changes will eventually snowball into bigger shifts in our beliefs.
Exactly.
I like it. But how do we know which habits to focus on?
Well, that's where self-awareness comes in.
Yeah.
And the book really stresses that this is an ongoing process.
Uh-huh.
It's about paying attention to our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors,
Okay.
and identifying the patterns that are no longer serving us.
Yeah.
Then he can start to consciously choose new habits that align with the beliefs that we want to cultivate.
So the author actually uses his own life as an example
Yeah.
of how powerful and often invisible these core beliefs can be.
Yeah.
He talks about struggling with a fear of abandonment, something that was rooted in his childhood,
Right.
and how that affected his relationships and career for years.
It's a great illustration of how deeply these core beliefs, often formed from intensely emotional experiences, can operate beneath our conscious awareness.
Yeah.
You know, they can influence our decisions and behaviors in ways that we don't even realize.
It's like we're on autopilot,
Mm-hmm.
driven by these invisible forces. So if we're essentially running on autopilot,
Yeah.
driven by these subconscious beliefs,
Right.
how do we even start to identify and change them?
Yeah.
Especially when our brains seem to be like hardwired to keep us in our comfort zones,
Mm-hmm.
even if those comfort zones are causing us pain.
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it?
It is.
Our brains are wired to protect us from emotional pain, but sometimes that protection mechanism backfires.
Right.
The book dives into how our rational minds can actually sabotage our goals,
Okay.
even when we logically know we need to make a change.
It's like standing at the edge of a cliff,
Right.
terrified to jump, even though, it's the only way to reach the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Our rational mind creates a million reasons not to jump,
Right.
all to protect us from that perceived danger.
Exactly. Our fear can hijack our rational thinking and keep us stuck in those self-sabotaging patterns.
But how does the brain even work to reinforce those beliefs in the first place?
Right.
What keeps us stuck in our current patterns?
Okay, so the book explains this in terms of the reticular activation system, or the RAS.
Okay.
It's essentially our brain's filtering system.
Okay.
It filters out information that doesn't align with our existing beliefs while highlighting information that confirms them. Think of it like wearing a pair of glasses that only allows you to see evidence that supports what you already believe.
Wait, so we're selectively focusing our attention on information that confirms our worldview,
Yeah.
even if that worldview is based on limiting beliefs. No wonder it's so hard to change.
It's a powerful mechanism.
It's like we're trapped in our own echo chambers.
It is, and it explains why we often fail to see opportunities or information that contradicts our worldview.
So how do we break free from this cycle? How do we start seeing the world through a new lens?
Okay, so the book takes this concept of the RAS a step further and connects it to the idea of projection and reflection.
Okay.
We project our beliefs onto the world, and then we interpret our experiences in a way that reflects those beliefs back to us.
Okay.
It creates this closed loop, making it incredibly difficult to break free from those limiting patterns.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I believe the world is a hostile place, I'm going to be on high alert looking for evidence to confirm that belief. And guess what? I'm probably going to find it.
Right.
Which just reinforces my original belief.
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it is.
But here's the good news. Awareness is the first step to breaking that cycle.
Okay.
By becoming aware of how our beliefs are shaping our perceptions and experiences, we can start to consciously choose different beliefs and create a different reality.
So it's about taking control of the projector.
Yeah.
choosing the film we want to see, and then interpreting the images through a new lens.
Exactly.
It sounds empowering, but also a little daunting. Is it really that simple?
Well, it's not always easy.
Okay.
But the QPH method provides a framework for doing just that. It's about recognizing that we are not our beliefs.
Okay.
Our beliefs are shaped by experiences, not inherent traits, which means that change is possible.
Okay, so we're not doomed to be prisoners of our past experiences. That's a relief.
Yeah.
But how do we actually go about changing those deep-seated beliefs? I mean, it's not like we can just flip a switch and suddenly see the world differently.
Well, the book suggests that the key is to combine conscious effort with consistent action.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the power of our subconscious minds, our RAS, and understanding how they work to shape our reality.
Okay.
By consciously choosing to focus on what we want, asking empowering questions, and building new habits that align with our desired beliefs, we can start to rewire our brains and create a new internal landscape.
That sounds like a long process.
It can be.
Can you give us a practical example of how the author actually used this QPH method to overcome a specific challenge in his own life?
Yeah, he shares a really compelling example of how he used the method to quit smoking.
Okay.
He was a heavy smoker for years, had tried to quit multiple times, but always relapsed. So he decided to apply the QPH method. And he started by asking himself this question every day. How painful does it feel when I smoke cigarettes?
So he's intentionally focusing on the negative aspects of smoking.
Exactly.
The pain it causes, right, rather than the perceived pleasure. That seems counterintuitive.
It is, but that's the key. By consistently asking himself that question. He shifted his perception of smoking. His RAS started focusing on the negative effects. The coughing, the shortness of breath, the smell. And that strengthened his belief that smoking was painful. And eventually that shift in belief led him to quit for good.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Just by asking a simple question, every day he was able to change his beliefs and his behavior. It really highlights the power of our subconscious minds.
It does.
But can this method really be applied to any challenge? What about those deep-seated beliefs that seem almost impossible to change?
Well, that's what we'll delve into in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore how to tackle those deeply ingrained beliefs. The ones that feel like they're a part of our DNA. We'll uncover strategies for uprooting those beliefs and replacing them with ones that empower us to reach our full potential.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned because things are about to get even more interesting.
Okay, I'm already hooked. But before we move on, let's just quickly recap what we've uncovered so far.
All right, so we've established that our beliefs are powerful forces that shape our reality. I've explored how those beliefs are often formed in childhood and operate beneath our conscious awareness, influencing our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors in really profound ways. We've also introduced the QPH method, a three-pronged approach to understanding and changing our beliefs through questions, polarity, and habits.
Yes, and we've started to see how the QPH method can be applied in real life, using the author's example of quitting smoking.
Exactly.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg.
It is.
In the next part of our deep dive, we're going to go even deeper, exploring how to identify and transform those core beliefs that are holding us back from achieving our biggest goals. And living our most fulfilling lives.
Can't wait.
This is all incredibly insightful. I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Me too.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dive even deeper into those stubborn, deep-seated beliefs. You know, the ones that can feel impossible to change. Like the ones that are almost like hardwired into our DNA. The ones that whisper in our ear, you're not good enough. Or you'll never achieve that.
Yeah. Those are the beliefs that often have the strongest hold on us because they're usually rooted in early experiences, often from childhood, that were emotionally charged. They become part of our subconscious programming. Influencing our perceptions and behaviors without us even realizing it.
It's like they're operating in the shadows, pulling the strings behind the scenes. No wonder they can be so difficult to identify and change.
It's true, and the book really emphasizes that awareness is the first crucial step. We need to shine a light on those shadow beliefs. Bring them into our conscious awareness so we can start to question and challenge them.
But even when we become aware of those limiting beliefs, they can still feel so powerful
Right.
and convincing.
Yeah.
It's like they have this undeniable truth to them,
Mm-hmm.
even when we know logically that they might not be true.
Well, that's because those beliefs have been reinforced over time
Okay.
through our experiences and the selective filtering of our RAS. Remember, our brains are wired to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs,
Yeah.
even if those beliefs are limiting us.
So it's like we're trapped in a self-perpetuating cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Our beliefs shape our perceptions, which influence our actions,
Right.
which then reinforce our original beliefs.
Exactly. It's a lose loop.
It is. And the book suggests that this cycle can play out not only in our individual lives, but also on a collective level.
Oh, wow.
Shaping cultural norms and societal beliefs.
That's a fascinating concept. Can you give us an example of how this might work?
Sure. Let's take the example of a society that holds a collective belief in scarcity.
Okay.
The idea that there's not enough to go around.
Yeah.
This belief can manifest in things like cutthroat competition, hoarding of resources, and just a general sense of mistrust and fear.
And because those beliefs are projected onto the world,
Right.
they create a reality that reflects those beliefs. So people become more guarded, less willing to share, more likely to engage in conflict over resources.
Exactly.
That becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Precisely. And it highlights the importance of examining our collective beliefs.
Yeah.
And challenging those that are creating negative outcomes.
Okay.
You know, if we want to create a more just and equitable world, we need to shift those beliefs to ones that support abundance, collaboration, and shared prosperity.
Okay, so it's not just about changing our individual beliefs. It's about transforming our collective consciousness. But how do we even begin to tackle such a monumental task?
Well, the QPH method suggests that change starts with individual awareness and action.
Okay.
You know, as more and more individuals begin to question and challenge those limiting collective beliefs, it creates a ripple effect that can eventually transform the entire system.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's bring this back to a more personal level.
Yeah.
How can we apply the QPH method to those deep-seated beliefs that are holding us back in our own lives? Well, the book emphasizes the importance of approaching these beliefs with curiosity rather than judgment.
Okay.
Instead of beating ourselves up for having these beliefs,
Right.
we can start by simply observing them.
Okay.
Becoming aware of how they're showing up.
Yeah.
In our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors.
So it's about becoming a detective of our own mind, paying attention to the clues that reveal those hidden beliefs.
Exactly.
But once we've identified those beliefs, how do we actually go about changing them?
The QPH method suggests a 3-step process: question, polarize, and habitualize.
Okay, so let's break that down.
Okay, so first, we question the validity of those beliefs. We ask ourselves, is this belief truly serving me?
Okay.
What evidence supports this belief?
Okay.
What would happen if I chose to believe something different?
Those are powerful questions.
They are.
It's like we're putting those beliefs on trial, examining the evidence,
Right.
challenging their authority.
Exactly. And by questioning those beliefs, we start to loosen their grip on us.
Okay.
The second step is to polarize our focus.
Okay.
Shifting from what we don't want to what we do want.
Okay.
Instead of dwelling on our limitation,
Right.
we focus on our strengths and possibilities.
So if I have a belief that I'm not good enough, I would shift my focus to I am capable and worthy. It's about reframing our thoughts.
Right.
And directing our energy towards the outcomes we desire.
Precisely.
I like it.
And the third step is to habitualize new beliefs through consistent action.
Okay.
You know, we choose new behaviors that align with those desired beliefs.
Yeah.
And we repeat them until they become ingrained in our subconscious minds.
So it's not just about thinking differently. It's about acting differently.
Exactly.
We need to create new neural pathways in our brains by consistently engaging in behaviors that support our new beliefs.
That's a great way to put it.
It sounds like rewiring our brains for success.
It is.
I'm into it.
And the book provides specific techniques for doing just that.
Great.
One technique is to use affirmations.
Okay.
Positive statements that reinforce our desired beliefs. By repeating those affirmations regularly, we can start to reprogram our subconscious minds.
So if I want to overcome my fear of public speaking, I might repeat an affirmation like, I am a confident and engaging speaker.
Exactly.
And by consistently repeating that affirmation, I'm essentially telling my subconscious mind, that this is my new reality.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And the more you repeat those affirmations
Right.
and engage in behaviors that align with those beliefs,
Yeah.
the stronger those neural pathways become.
Okay.
It's like building a mental muscle.
Okay. This is all starting to click.
Good.
We identify the limiting belief.
Mm-hmm.
We question its validity.
Right.
We shift our focus to the opposite belief.
Mm-hmm.
And then we take consistent action to reinforce that new belief.
Exactly.
It's a powerful process, but it sounds like it takes effort and commitment. It does. Changing deeply ingrained beliefs isn't a quick fix.
Right.
You know, it requires patience, persistence,
Yeah.
and a willingness to challenge those old patterns of thinking.
But the rewards are well worth the effort.
They are.
The author uses his own life as an example.
He does.
He went from struggling with poverty addiction and self-sabotage to achieving success and fulfillment.
It's a pretty inspiring story.
Yeah, it is.
And he attributes his transformation to the consistent application of the QPH method.
Okay.
You know, he emphasizes that it's not about achieving perfection.
Yeah.
It's about making progress.
Right.
One step at a time.
So it's not about beating ourselves up when we slip back into old patterns.
Right.
It's about recognizing those slip-ups as opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly. It's about embracing the journey of transformation and trusting that with consistent effort, we can create lasting change.
But what about those times when we're making progress?
Yeah.
We're feeling good. And then suddenly, bam, we get hit with a setback. Something happens that triggers those old doubts and fears.
Right.
And we feel like we're back at square one.
I know, it's so frustrating.
It is.
But those setbacks are inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, the key is to not let them derail us.
Okay.
The book emphasizes the importance of developing resilience, the ability to bounce back from challenges.
So it's not about avoiding setbacks altogether. It's about learning to navigate them in a way that keeps us moving forward.
Exactly.
Okay, but how do we do that? How do we stay resilient in the face of challenges?
Well, one technique is to use setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay.
Instead of seeing them as failures.
Yeah.
We can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this experience?
Oh,
How can I use this to become even stronger and more resilient?
That's a great reframing.
It
It takes the sting out of those setbacks and turns them into valuable learning experiences. But let's be honest, sometimes those setbacks can feel overwhelming.
They can.
What about those times when we feel like giving up? How do we stay motivated when we're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged?
The book emphasizes the importance of connecting with our why. Why are we choosing to change these beliefs?
Okay.
What are the benefits we're seeking?
Okay.
What is the bigger vision we're working towards?
By reminding ourselves of our why, we reconnect with the deeper purpose behind our efforts.
Right.
It's like refueling our motivation tank.
Exactly. And it's also helpful to celebrate our wins along the way.
Okay.
No matter how small they may seem,
Yeah.
you know, every step forward, every breakthrough is worth acknowledging and celebrating.
Because those small wins
Create
momentum and reinforce our belief that change is possible.
Exactly. The author also suggests finding a support system.
Okay.
People who believe in us
Yeah.
and can encourage us along the way.
Having a cheerleader in our corner can make all the difference,
They can.
especially when we're facing those inevitable challenges.
Absolutely. And the book also emphasizes the importance of self-care.
Okay.
You know, when we're trying to change deeply ingrained beliefs, it can be emotionally taxing. It's crucial to take care of ourselves both physically and mentally.
So it's not selfish to prioritize self-care?
Right.
It's actually essential for sustaining our efforts over the long haul.
Exactly. It's about creating a foundation of well-being that supports our transformation.
This is all making a lot of sense, but I'm curious, what about the role of our emotions in all of this? I mean, our beliefs are often tied to strong emotions, right?
Yeah.
How do we deal with those emotional roadblocks that can sabotage our efforts?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the QPH method doesn't advocate for suppressing or ignoring our emotions. In fact, it emphasizes the importance of acknowledging and processing those emotions as part of the transformation process.
So it's not about becoming emotionless robots. It's about learning to work with our emotions.
Exactly.
In a healthy and constructive way.
And the book provides techniques for doing just that.
Oh, great. What are some of those?
Well, one technique is journaling.
Okay.
By writing down our thoughts and feelings, we can gain clarity and release pent-up emotions.
It's like giving those emotions a voice, allowing them to be heard and acknowledged.
Exactly. Another technique is mindfulness meditation.
Okay.
By practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment,
Okay.
creating a space between our thoughts and our reactions.
So instead of being swept away by our emotions, we can choose how we respond to them.
Precisely. And by cultivating this mindful awareness, we can start to detach from those negative thought patterns and create new, more empowering beliefs.
But what about those beliefs that are tied to traumatic experiences? Can the QPH method really help us overcome those deeply ingrained patterns of fear and pain?
That's a complex issue, and the book acknowledges that dealing with trauma often requires professional help. However, the QPH method can be a valuable tool in the healing process.
Yep.
By questioning those beliefs that stem from trauma, shifting our focus to empowerment and healing, and creating new habits that support our well-being, we can start to reclaim our lives.
Okay, so it's not a magic bullet, but it can be a helpful tool.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that healing is a journey, and the QPH method can provide support and guidance along the way.
So are there any other specific techniques that the QPH method offers for tackling those really challenging beliefs?
Yeah, there are. The book talks about the power of visualization.
Okay.
By creating vivid mental images of ourselves, living in alignment with our desired beliefs, we can start to reprogram our subconscious minds.
So it's like creating a mental movie of our ideal reality. And by repeatedly watching that movie, we're essentially convincing our subconscious mind that this is our new truth.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it.
The book also suggests working with metaphors and symbols to access those deeper layers of our psyche.
All right, how does that work?
Well, our subconscious minds communicate through images, symbols, and archetypes.
Okay.
So by working with those tools, we can tap into the wisdom and power of our inner world.
It's like speaking the language of the subconscious mind.
Exactly.
Using symbols and metaphors to bypass the rational mind and communicate directly with those deeper levels of our being.
Precisely.
This is all incredibly fascinating.
Yeah.
We've gone from identifying those shadow beliefs to questioning their validity, shifting our focus to empowerment, and using techniques like journaling, mindfulness visualization, and working with symbols to transform those beliefs at the deepest levels.
It's a powerful process.
But I'm curious, what about the role of our physical bodies in all of this? I mean, we've been talking a lot about our minds and our emotions.
Right.
But our bodies are a part of this equation too, right?
Absolutely. And the source material actually delves into the fascinating connection between our beliefs and our physical health. It suggests that our beliefs can influence our physical well-being in profound ways.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How exactly does that work?
Well, the author starts by pointing out that our bodies are constantly responding to our thoughts and emotions.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
When I'm stressed or anxious, I can feel it in my body.
Right.
My heart races, my muscles tense up. I might even get a headache.
Exactly. And those physical reactions are triggered by the release of hormones. Like cortisol and adrenaline, which can have a negative impact on our health over time.
So it's like our bodies are keeping score of our emotional states. And those negative emotions can eventually take a toll on our physical well-being.
Precisely. And the author argues that our beliefs as the foundation of our thoughts and emotions play a crucial role in shaping our health.
So if we're constantly focusing on negative thoughts and beliefs, those thoughts are going to trigger stress responses in our bodies, which can eventually lead to health problems.
That's the idea. He uses the example of someone who believes they're prone to getting sick. This belief might lead them to be hypervigilant about their health, constantly worrying about germs and potential illnesses.
And that constant worry and anxiety can actually weaken their immune system.
Right.
Making them more susceptible to getting sick. So it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
Their belief creates the reality they fear.
Exactly. And the same principle applies to other areas of health. If someone believes that they're destined to be overweight, they might engage in self-sabotaging behaviors that reinforce that belief, such as overeating or avoiding exercise.
So our beliefs can actually create the physical reality we experience, both positive and negative.
The author also suggests that our beliefs can influence our behaviors in ways that directly impact our health.
How are they?
Well, for example, someone who believes that exercise is a chore might avoid physical activity.
That makes sense.
Right, which can lead to a sedentary lifestyle and potential health problems.
Or someone who believes that healthy eating is restrictive and unpleasant
Right.
might make poor dietary choices, compromising their health over time.
Exactly. It's a reminder that our beliefs are not just abstract thoughts.
Right.
They have a tangible impact on our actions and our physical well-being.
Okay, so how do we change those beliefs that might be negatively impacting our health? I mean, is it as simple as just deciding to believe something different?
It's not always that simple.
Okay.
But the QPH method offers a pathway.
Okay.
It starts with becoming aware of the beliefs that are driving our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors related to our health.
So if I'm struggling with my weight, I might start by examining my beliefs about food, exercise, and my body image.
Exactly. And then it's about questioning those beliefs.
Right.
Seeking evidence that contradicts them, and focusing on empowering beliefs that support our health and well-being.
Okay, so instead of believing that I'm destined to be overweight, I might choose to believe that I am capable of achieving a healthy weight and feeling good in my body.
That's a great example.
Okay.
And the author emphasizes the importance of building new habits that align with those desired beliefs.
Okay, so if we believe that exercise is enjoyable and beneficial, we might start incorporating more physical activity into our daily routines.
Exactly.
Or if we believe that healthy eating can be delicious and satisfying, we might make more conscious choices about the foods we consume. Okay.
It's about aligning our actions with our beliefs to create a reality that supports our health and vitality.
It's about recognizing that our bodies are not separate from our minds.
Right.
They're interconnected, constantly influencing each other.
And by choosing empowering beliefs, we can create a ripple effect that positively impacts both our mental and physical well-being.
It's like we're creating a positive feedback loop where our beliefs support our actions, which then reinforce our beliefs.
Exactly. And the author also talks about the importance of self-care.
Okay.
You know, it's about taking the time to nurture our bodies and minds with activities that promote relaxation, reduce stress, and foster a sense of well-being.
So it's not selfish to prioritize self-care. It's actually essential for sustaining our efforts over the long haul.
Precisely. It's about creating a foundation of well-being that supports our transformation.
Okay. This is all making a lot of sense. But I'm curious, what about those really deep-seated beliefs that seem almost impossible to change?
Yeah.
The ones that feel like they're a part of our core identity. Can the QPH method really help with those?
Well, the author acknowledges that these beliefs can be incredibly challenging to shift.
Okay.
But he also insists that no belief is truly unchangeable.
So there's always hope. Even for those beliefs that feel like they're etched in stone.
He argues that our beliefs are ultimately habits of thought, patterns that have been reinforced over time. And just like any habit, with conscious effort and consistent action, those patterns can be broken and replaced with new ones.
It's encouraging to know that we're not stuck with those limiting beliefs forever.
We're not.
But how do we even begin to approach those beliefs that feel so deeply ingrained?
The author suggests that the key is to approach those deeply ingrained beliefs with curiosity rather than judgment.
Okay.
Instead of berating ourselves for having these beliefs, we can start by simply observing them, becoming aware of how they're showing up in our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors.
So it's about approaching those beliefs with a sense of gentle inquiry. Like a scientist observing a specimen under a microscope.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And then we can start to ask questions.
Okay, what kind of questions?
Why do I believe this?
Okay.
What evidence supports this belief?
Okay.
What would happen if I chose to believe something different?
By engaging in this process of inquiry, we can start to loosen the grip of those beliefs and create space for new possibilities to emerge.
The author also emphasizes the importance of challenging the evidence that supports our limiting beliefs. You know, often the evidence we cling to is based on past experiences or outdated information.
It's like we're holding onto a map that no longer reflects the current terrain.
Right.
We need to update our maps to navigate effectively.
Exactly, by seeking out new information, exposing ourselves to different perspectives, and gathering evidence that contradicts our limiting beliefs. We can start to weaken their hold on us.
So it's about becoming more open-minded, willing to consider new information and perspectives that challenge our existing beliefs.
Exactly. And he also talks about the power of visualization and affirmations.
Okay.
By consistently visualizing ourselves living in alignment with our desired beliefs
Uh-huh.
and repeating affirmations that reinforce those beliefs, we can start to reprogram our subconscious minds
Right.
and create new neural pathways that support those beliefs.
It's like planting seeds in our minds and nurturing them with consistent attention and care. And over time, those seeds will grow into strong new beliefs that shape our reality.
Exact.
It's a beautiful metaphor.
It is, and the author emphasizes that consistency is key.
Okay.
Just like building any new habit.
Yeah.
Changing deeply ingrained beliefs requires ongoing effort and commitment.
It's not about achieving perfection overnight.
Right.
It's about taking small, consistent steps
Yeah.
in the direction of our desired beliefs.
Exactly.
But what about those times when we feel like we're making progress?
Yeah.
And then suddenly we get hit with a setback. Something happens that triggers those old doubts and fears.
Right.
And we feel like we're back at square one.
I know those setbacks can be so discouraging.
They can.
But they're also a normal part of the process.
Okay.
The key is to not let them derail us.
Yeah, so it's not about avoiding setbacks altogether.
Right.
It's about learning to navigate them in a way that keeps us moving forward.
Exactly.
But how do we do that? How do we stay resilient in the face of challenges?
Well, one technique is to use setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay.
Instead of seeing them as failures, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this experience?
Okay.
How can I use this to become even stronger and more resilient?
That's a great reframing.
Dad.
It is. It takes the sting out of those setbacks and turns them into valuable learning experiences.
Another technique is to focus on our wins,
Okay.
no matter how small they may seem.
Yeah.
Every step forward, every breakthrough is worth acknowledging and celebrating.
Okay. So it's about recognizing our progress and giving ourselves credit for our efforts.
Exactly. And those small wins create momentum
Right.
and reinforce our belief that change is possible.
Okay. I like it.
It's also helpful to have a support system.
Yeah.
People who believe in us and can encourage us along the way.
Having a cheerleader in our corner can make all the difference.
Absolutely.
Especially when we're facing those inevitable challenges.
The book also emphasizes the importance of self-care.
Okay.
When we're trying to change deeply ingrained beliefs, it can be emotionally taxing.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to take care of ourselves both physically and mentally.
Right. It's about recognizing that we can't pour from an empty cup. We need to replenish our own energy and well-being to sustain our efforts.
Precisely. It's about creating a foundation of well-being that supports our transformation.
Okay, this is all incredibly helpful.
It did.
I've talked about the power of curiosity, questioning, and reframing. We've explored techniques like visualization affirmations and working with symbols to access those deeper levels of our subconscious minds.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But it's powerful stuff.
We've also emphasized the importance of support self-care and celebrating our wins. But I'm curious, what about the role of intuition in all of this? We've been talking a lot about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind.
Right.
But what about that gut feeling, that inner voice that sometimes guides us?
Yeah.
Does the QPH method address that aspect of belief?
That's a great question, and it's one that the book actually touches on,
Okay.
though not extensively.
Okay.
The author acknowledges the power of intuition,
Okay.
Suggesting that it's a valuable source of wisdom and guidance that can often lead us toward our truth.
So it's not just about logic and rational thinking.
Right.
It's about tuning into that deeper knowing that comes from within.
Exactly. And the book suggests that we can cultivate our intuition through practices like mindfulness meditation,
Okay.
spending time in nature, and simply paying attention to those subtle nudges and whispers from our inner voice.
It's like strengthening a muscle. The more we practice listening to our intuition, the more attuned we become to its guidance.
Exactly. The author also suggests that our intuition can play a key role in helping us identify those limiting beliefs that are no longer serving us.
So it's not just about logically analyzing our beliefs. It's about feeling into them.
Yeah.
Sensing whether they align with our truest self.
Exactly. And if a belief feels off, if it triggers a sense of unease or dissonance within us, it's worth exploring further.
Okay.
It's like our intuition is a compass, guiding us toward those beliefs that resonate with our authentic selves and away from those that no longer serve us.
Okay, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And so the QPH method encourages us to trust our intuition, to use it as a guide in our journey of transformation. It's about recognizing that we have access to an inner wisdom that can help us navigate the complexities of belief and create a reality that aligns with our truest selves.
The author even suggests that our intuition can play a role in attracting those synchronicities and opportunities that support our goals and desires.
So it's not just about hard work and effort.
Right.
It's also about aligning with the flow of life and trusting that the universe will conspire to support us when we're following our intuition.
Exactly. It's about surrendering to something greater than ourselves.
Okay, but let's be real. Sometimes our intuition can lead us astray. Okay, so it seems like our beliefs can impact everything from our relationships to our health to our overall success.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? You know, we often underestimate the power of our beliefs to shape our reality.
We've been diving deep into this idea,
Yeah.
unpacking how those deeply held beliefs, often formed in childhood, can operate beneath our awareness,
Right.
influencing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways we don't even realize.
It's true.
And we've explored how the QPH method offers a framework for identifying those beliefs, questioning their validity, and consciously choosing to adopt new beliefs that empower us to create the life we desire.
It's a powerful process.
We've talked about a lot of techniques for changing those beliefs.
Yeah.
Journaling, mindfulness, visualization, working with symbols, even tapping into our intuition.
It's a lot of tools.
But one thing that struck me as we were discussing the connection between beliefs and health is this idea that our beliefs can actually influence our longevity.
Oh, wow.
Wait, are you saying that our beliefs can determine how long we live? That's a bold claim.
It is, and the book doesn't go into a ton of scientific detail to support it.
Okay.
But it does cite studies that have shown a correlation between positive emotions and increased lifespan.
So people who generally feel happier and more optimistic tend to live longer.
That's what the research suggests.
Okay.
And while the exact mechanisms are still being explored,
Yeah.
it's clear that our mental and emotional states play a significant role in our overall health and longevity.
It makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
If we're constantly stressed and anxious, it's going to take a toll on our bodies over time.
Exactly. And conversely, when we're feeling happy, relaxed, and loved, our bodies release hormones like dopamine and serotonin, which have been shown to boost our immune systems and promote overall well-being.
So it's not just about living longer, it's about living better.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the QPH method offers a roadmap for creating a life that's filled with vitality, joy, and fulfillment.
It's about recognizing that we have more control over our health and well-being than we often realize. I mean, sometimes it feels like our health is just this random thing that happens to us.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it sounds like we actually have a lot more agency than we think.
Right, and it starts with choosing beliefs that support our physical and emotional health.
It's about believing that we deserve to be healthy and happy. And making choices that reflect that belief.
And it's about cultivating those positive emotions that contribute to a long and vibrant life.
Yeah, so it's not just about like gritting our teeth and forcing ourselves to be positive all the time.
Right.
It's about genuinely cultivating a sense of joy and well-being in our lives.
Yay.
Okay, this is all incredibly inspiring, but I'm curious to get your take on something that's been running through my mind as we've been having this conversation.
Okay.
The author of this book, The QPH Method, repeatedly emphasizes the importance of self-reliance and personal responsibility. He even goes as far as to say that relying on external sources for happiness or fulfillment is a recipe for disappointment.
Right. That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it gets to the heart of a lot of philosophical debates about the nature of happiness and fulfillment. You know, the author's perspective, which is echoed in many schools of thought, is that true happiness and fulfillment come from within?
He argues that relying on external factors, things like possessions, relationships, or achievements to make us happy is ultimately a losing game.
Right.
Because those things are fleeting and impermanent.
They can change or be taken away from us at any moment.
Exactly. So if our happiness is dependent on those external factors, we're essentially setting ourselves up for disappointment.
He suggests that lasting happiness and fulfillment come from cultivating inner qualities.
Okay, like what?
Like self-love, self-acceptance, and a sense of purpose and meaning in life.
Qualities that can't be taken away from us, regardless of our external circumstances.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
It is. And while I think there's a lot of truth to that perspective, I also believe it's important to acknowledge the role that external factors play in our lives.
Right. Because I mean, we're social creatures.
We are.
We're wired for connection and belonging.
Mm-hmm.
Our relationships with others are a fundamental source of joy and meaning in life.
Absolutely.
Right? And achieving our goals.
Yeah.
Whether it's in our careers, our personal lives, or our communities.
Mm-hmm.
Can grow a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment.
For sure.
So it's not about denying the importance of those external factors.
Right.
It's about finding a balance.
It's about cultivating inner strength and resilience.
Yeah.
While also recognizing the value of connection, love, and achievement in our lives.
It's about finding a sense of wholeness that encompasses both our internal and external worlds.
Mm-hmm. I think the key is to not become attached to those external factors as the sole source of our happiness.
Right.
We can enjoy those things, appreciate them,
Mm-hmm.
and allow them to enrich our lives without making our happiness contingent upon them.
It's about finding a sense of inner peace and contentment that's not dependent on external circumstances.
Exactly. And that inner peace allows us to navigate the ups and downs of life
Right?
with more grace and resilience.
Okay, this is all making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like we need to build a strong inner foundation
Mm-hmm.
so that we're not constantly swayed by the external world.
Exactly. And that inner foundation is built on those qualities the author talks about, like
Right.
self-love, self-acceptance, and a sense of purpose.
Qualities that empower us to create a life of meaning and fulfillment,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of our external circumstances.
And I think it's important to add that this is an ongoing process.
Right? It's not like we achieve inner peace and then we're done.
Exactly.
It's a practice.
Yeah.
A daily commitment to cultivating those qualities.
It's like tending a garden.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
We need to water those seeds of self-love and purpose every day to help them grow and flourish.
And I think it's also important to recognize that we're all on this journey together.
Mhm.
You know, we're all interconnected,
Yeah.
supporting each other's growth and evolution.
And by choosing beliefs that empower us and contribute to the well-being of others,
Mm-hmm.
we're creating a ripple effect that can transform the world.
That's the idea.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've explored the power of belief,
Mm-hmm.
how it shapes our reality,
Right.
and how we can consciously choose beliefs that empower us to create a life of meaning, purpose, and joy.
It's all about making conscious choices.
We've delved into the QPH Method, a practical framework for understanding and changing our beliefs.
Mm.
And we've explored a wide range of techniques for putting those principles into action.
There's a lot of tools in the toolbox.
We've also touched on some pretty profound concepts,
Yeah.
like the connection between belief and health, longevity, and even spirituality.
It's all connected.
And we've emphasized the importance of balance, finding that sweet spot between self-reliance and connection,
Mm-hmm.
between personal responsibility and social awareness.
Right. You know, it's not about one or the other. It's about finding that integration.
I hope this deep dive has inspired you to examine your own beliefs
Yeah.
and to consciously choose those beliefs that will empower you to create the life you desire.
It's an ongoing journey,
It is.
but it's a journey worth taking.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought,
Okay.
something to ponder as you continue on your own journey of exploration.
I like it.
If you could identify one core belief that has been holding you back from achieving your biggest goal,
Mm-hmm.
what question could you start asking yourself every day to begin shifting that belief?
That's a good one.
What small action could you take consistently to create a new habit that aligns with your desired belief?
Powerful stuff.
And how might that shift in belief not only transform your own life, but also create positive ripple effects in the world around you?
It's all about those ripple effects.
It's a journey worth taking.
It is.
And we encourage you to embrace the power of belief to create a life that is filled with meaning, purpose, and joy.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep exploring the infinite possibilities that lie within you.